Good morning, everybody. This is our weekly show on NTWC Plus, and we look forward to a very interesting discussion today. Our guest this week is Guillermo Rodriguez. He's with the Portable Generator Manufacturing Association, and he's the Marketing Committee Chair and spokesperson. Uh, Guillermo has the bachelor's degree in from Florida International University and a master's in industrial engineering from Georgia Tech. Uh, uh, Sounds like a perfect background, Guillermo, for the line of work you've chosen to go into. I guess to start off with, could you describe a little bit about just what the association does?
Thank you, Bill. I am so happy to be here with your listeners, helping them stay safe and learn more about the proper use of portable generators. PGMA is a trade association that develops safety and performance standards for the portable generator industry. PGMA is also dedicated to educating consumers about the safe use of portable generators. And for that, the association has developed the Take It Outside campaign to support its mission.
Interesting. It's very timely. We have in the weather business, we've really started focusing on the what's called indirect deaths and injuries associated with landfalling hurricanes. And one of the leading issues in the recent years has been an increase in carbon monoxide poisoning, primarily from improper use of portable generators. Uh, uh, Maybe you could add some insight why you think that's suddenly become an increase. I'm not that familiar with how many of those are out there, where there are a lot of increase in the marketing of them. But the ones I've looked at have had what I thought were fabulous, very clear warning labels on proper use of it. So it's a dilemma to me. What's your take on that?
So, Bill, the first thing I'm going to do is take a step back and make sure we all understand what carbon monoxide is, right? So it is an invisible, odorless gas that is created when fuels burn incompletely. Carbon monoxide is often called the silent killer because it is impossible for the human senses to detect it. To answer your question about why these incidents happen, everyone is aware that you cannot run a gasoline-powered car inside a garage, right? Some people are not aware that many household burning appliances, such as heater, boilers, furnaces, stoves, can create carbon monoxide. And portable generators create carbon monoxide as well. And because they create this deadly gas, you should never run a generator inside an enclosed space. This is, to your point, a incorrect use of the portable generator. It should never be used inside a home, garage, shed, truck bed, or any other fully enclosed or partially enclosed location where carbon monoxide emissions can build up.
Excellent. How about I think one of the feedbacks I got one time is the consumer citizen was concerned about the ongoing heavy rain in the wake of the hurricane, and gusty high winds would impact the operation of the portable generator. My feeling is it's a misconception. They should be able to run just fine outside in the adverse weather, right?
Well, let's talk about the hazards related to a generator being used. When you have strong winds, when you have rain, it's very important to make sure that the generator is not going to be a shock hazard, right? So never place the generator on top of a puddle, anywhere where water can build up. Also need to be careful of the rain. So reading the instructions, making sure to understand what is the proper procedure that's advised by the brand when in rain conditions. But Definitely be mindful of the water location, wind. Again, if you are getting into high speed winds, most likely that comes with rain as well. So times like that, you need to be careful when using the generator as well.
Yeah, so the I guess the proper advice on that is when heavy rain's occurring, you should shut it down until the rain is
Mhm.
passed.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. How about operating? A lot of people have covered porches or patios. How about is it safe to operate the generator on that kind of a situation?
That's a great question, Bill. So even if the garage door is open or you have an open patio, maybe a fence, some walls, the exhaust will accumulate quickly and it will actually cause the carbon monoxide emissions to be pulled back into the home through doors, windows, vents. And simple ventilation is not going to be enough. And that's essentially a very important point, never to be thinking about covered patios as a safe location. It's not safe. The challenge with carbon monoxide is that it can overwhelm you within minutes without warning. The only safe place to run the generator is outdoors where it's well ventilated. If I may, Bill, I talked about being overwhelmed within minutes. It is very important to talk about the symptoms. Those symptoms are headache, dizziness, nausea, fatigue, shortness of breath. If you feel these symptoms, leave right away. Call 911. Seek medical attention.
Good advice. Uh, does the association recommend that the generator be a certain distance away from any openings in the house, even if it is out in a uncovered area?
So I'm going to answer that question by pointing out that several agencies, such as the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and the CDC, recommend 20 feet away from any partially enclosed or fully enclosed structure. And several generator brands recommend the same as well.
Okay. I Are there things that consumers should look for when they're looking to purchase one, to as far as the safety aspects of a generator?
Great question, Bill. So the if someone is out purchasing a generator, they should be looking for a generator that includes a carbon monoxide shut-off sensor. I'm going to explain what that is. Essentially, generators that comply with this shut-off standard, which is the ANSI PGMA G300 standard. These generators are equipped with automatic shut-off technology. So when certain levels of carbon monoxide are detected, the generator's engine shuts off before deadly and dangerous emissions of carbon monoxide are built up. So once the engine shuts off, a notification light remains illuminated for a minimum of 5 minutes after the shut off, of course. This gives people an opportunity to leave the area, get some fresh air, make sure they're okay. And then when the light is no longer illuminated, moving the generator to a safe place of operation. Now, this is very important, Bill. We are looking at extensive testing of indoor, outdoor, and real world situations, demonstrating that the shut-offs will prevent more than 99% of fatalities from exposure coming from a portable generator. So again, this shut-off technology, the PGMA standard G300, is of crucial importance to protect not only the user of the generator, but anyone who is in the house, children, pets. These individuals could get exposed to carbon monoxide.
That is absolutely amazing. Is there been a pretty good penetration of this technology on generators that are being produced and sold today?
Yes, so it's been in place for several years now. So there's still obviously an old fleet of older generators, and there's precautions to be taken when using generators that don't have this shut-off technology.
Yeah, it's probably not something you can retrofit either. That's your understanding?
That's correct, Bill. You cannot retrofit it. So if we can talk about for a minute about what to do if you have an older generator, um, first of all, making sure that generator is in proper condition. It is well maintained, reviewing the maintenance instructions, and because it doesn't have a carbon monoxide shut off technology, the user needs to be extra careful to place in a right location so that it's not possible for emissions to make it into a home fully or partially enclosed location. We're also talking about truck beds, RVs. There's many places where carbon monoxide emissions can build up. So with older generators, again, it's very important to be very cautious and understand that they need to be far away. Carbon monoxide alarms are so important both with the older generators and the newer generators. Think about belts and suspenders, right? This is a wonderful technology that helps people have power in times of need, but it needs to be used safely. And the user is the most important line of defense. Again, carbon monoxide alarms, I cannot stress enough, Bill, how important they are. The National Fire Protection Association recommends one outside every sleeping room, one in every level, or as dictated by local codes.
Yeah, I guess it might not be a bad idea to have one of those in your garage, right?
Yes, anywhere where you see that, again, the generator needs to be away, but it is a very important line of defense as well.
Yeah, because when it's really hot, you don't have the power to run an air conditioner, or at least the whole house, when I would guess on
Hmm.
these generators. A lot of people sit in their garage because it's the coolest place in the building, away from the elements. So
Hmm.
it makes sense. Alex, I've been hogging all the questions. I bet you have a few.
I do have a couple of questions to ask here. For me, I'm looking at our conversation so far, and we're
Hmm.
talking carbon monoxide, and that is a big thing. But there are other
Hmm.
really dangerous things about handling these portable generators. What are some of the other things that people who own these things should be thinking about beyond carbon monoxide?
Alex, that's a great question. So um, I will cover several risks. Obviously, we talked briefly about the electrical shock hazard. I will also talk about backfeeding and then obviously explain what that is. So with shock and also fire risk, um, generators, when wet, can expose the user to electrocution hazard. So again, I mentioned earlier, never use a generator on top of a bottle of water, standing water. Um, Never refuel a generator that's hot. You need to allow it to cool down and wait several minutes before removing that fueling cap. The reason for this is very simple. Hot engine parts could ignite. So you could have a whole generator on fire just because there was not enough time to allow it to cool down. So never again, refuel a generator that's running and wait for it to cool down. So now let's talk about backfeeding. Backfeeding is very important and not very well understood. This is a hazard that exposes utility line workers to essentially electricity going back into the grid. So when power's out, you have utility line workers working on restoring the lines, and sometimes people plug a generator into a home wall outlet, that is extremely dangerous. People believe that it will power their home safely. It will not. It will actually backfeed power to the nearest pole. It would also bypass a lot of the safety measures in the electrical system in the house. So things can be catching on fire, damage to equipment. The only safe method, if someone is looking to have their generator power their home, and it needs to be a large enough generator, right? Is to have essentially a qualified electrician install a transfer switch or an interlock device. This, again, will prevent electricity from feeding back into power lines.
The Hurricane Center podcast is made possible by USAA, the South Padre Island Convention and Tourist Bureau, Live View, and the Texas Weather Network. Those are two good points that you brought up. The size of generator that you really need for your home, and now this transfer switch. So kind of go into both of those into detail, and so that we can figure out, viewers can figure out, what size do I really need, and what is this transfer switch all about?
Absolutely. So the amount of power that is needed depends very much from household to household. If you're looking to just power a fan, a laptop, some phones, you obviously need to do your research and make sure that you're getting an inverter generator so that there's a sine wave that will not damage sensitive electronics. So you can't just plug, a computer to a normal generator. It doesn't have the right, power being supplied to it. So as you step up into more needs, now people looking at a fridge, a window AC unit, fans, TVs, you're obviously getting into higher power needs. Now, looking at anything north of 10,000 watts type of generators. So it is very important to do your homework. A lot of the brands have very useful websites for what is the right generator for my needs. So do look up, the brands, visit their websites. You will find a lot of really good information. You can even enter what you intend to power, and it will tell you what size generator to use.
What about that transfer switch? That for me, I think people will probably say, I can just plug this into my outlet and it's going to do my home. And you were saying, no, don't do that. So go into detail on that, because a lot of people I know would probably, that was the first thing they do.
Well, I mean, the very first thing is to recognize that the installation of transfer switches, automatic, manual transfer switch, interlock. Many jurisdictions will require a permit and a certified electrician do that work. And that's for a good reason. It's for the safety of the homeowner, and again, to prevent an incorrect installation, which can lead to backfeeding. Now, if that sounds really overwhelming, then there's always, of course, going back to good placement. Think about if you have a large generator and you're powering many things, there's many outlets, have that generator far away, and then have the right length of extension cords. Think about extension cords going deep into the house to power your appliances. So there's options out there. But again, with the transfer switches, it's very important to not think that it is something that's simple. Again, it requires careful following of instructions, and in many cases, permits.
All right, Bill, back to you.
Yeah, that when you talk about all these different things you're going to load up on there, it sounds to me like you would quickly go beyond the power delivery of a portable generator. You'd be more into a like what they call a whole house generator.
Absolutely, Bill. So those are fairly common now, the home standby generators. They are starting at much larger kilowatts. And those have actually built-in automatic transfer switches, and also require, in many jurisdictions, installation by qualified electricians, plumbers to fit, for example, the gas line, and yes, the automatic transfer switches.
Yeah, when I looked into that for my house, and that you're exactly right. I had to have a whole bunch of permitting done on that, and it quickly became obvious that that was not my job. But so the portable generators, they don't come with any kind of a transfer switch. It's pretty much. I mean, what I've seen is people running the power and then have a plug-in, and then they attach mostly small appliances like toasters, microwave. For me, it'd be a coffee machine, absolutely a must.
So, Bill, what you're describing there, it sounds like the extension cords coming out of the generator, right? So to power the appliances directly. Right. That's essentially going back to the point of preparation and planning, making sure you know exactly which appliances you're going to be needing. And from there, figure out your extension cords. Don't wait to try out your generator when there is a storm announcement. Do prepare many days in advance.
Yeah. My way of thinking was to have a single room where whatever I'd want to be run, those appliances or units that need electricity would all be there, so I could take an inventory on it and figure out how much power it would take, and from there figure out the generator. How powerful do they make some of these portable generators?
You're looking at this portable generators being 10, 15 thousand watts, 17. I mean, they're getting up there. There's the portable generators. Yes.
Yeah, and they all run on gasoline or do.
Great question, Bill. So now they're tri-fuel. So either gas, propane, or I mean gasoline, propane, or natural gas. So they're coming equipped recently with tri-fuel.
Huh. So you could have like I have natural gas for cooking and heating water at our house. Is it possible to have a connection through that when the electricity goes out to run through a portable generator?
Yes, you could, absolutely. And you would need, of course, to have the right piping and, setup done so that you can quickly switch. There's also propane tanks. Those are, just like your barbecue grill,
right? Same
thing.
Yeah, because it's a common concern I hear from people when I'm talking at preparedness things is with the ones that you run with gasoline, you have to periodically find a gas station that's working, and if it's a bad enough hurricane, that could be a challenge.
Correct.
Well, it looks like we're just about running out of time here, and it goes by really quickly. Give us your takeaway here. What's the most important thing that someone who's even thinking about getting a portable generator should be thinking about? And is there a checklist or maybe a safety list that they should be going down through? And we mentioned extension cords a lot of times. Extension cords are not all the same. Which ones should they really use?
Okay, great question, Alex. So I'm going to run through a very quick checklist. And this information is also found in takeyourgeneratoroutside.com. This is the checklist of do's. So If you're in the market for a generator, do buy one that has shut-off technology. It's clearly advertised. You will see it. Number two, stay alert with carbon monoxide alarms. Number three, read the instruction manuals or serve all the recommended distances, follow all the safety precautions. Or make a plan. Just like fire safety, have a plan in place. Pre-measure your safe distances so you know where you're going to be placing that generator. Use extension cords. You mentioned that, Alex. And these extension cords need to be the proper wire gauge to power your appliances, and also rated for indoor, outdoor, because you're going to be coming from outside into the home. So you need to have the right extension cords. Using this generator outside, that is the only safe location. I cannot stress that enough. And then last, as you need to refuel the generator, make sure that it is cool and never refuel a running generator.
All good advice there. Bill, what's your takeaways from today?
Well, the number one thing I would add to that is that I think we touched on it a little from the hurricane perspective is you need to have all these factors planned out before we ever get to a storm. It's very even, yes, you need a generator, but go through all the planning. What are you going to do when the power goes out with a storm so that you're not having to figure that out in the dark?
Good advice. Good advice. Guillermo, one last thing that you would tell anybody about portable generators.
I would say for your listeners, again, visit us at takeyourgeneratoroutside.com. There is all sorts of kits for educators, fire departments, news stations, consumers, and many more. And again, remember, never to use a generator inside the home, garage, shed, or anywhere carbon monoxide emissions can build up. There's only one place, and that is outside.
Thank you very much, Guillermo, for being with us today. We really appreciate your expertise on this subject because, people don't stop to think sometimes. They'll just plug things in and get it really, really close in. Bill, thanks again for your expert hosting there and questionnaires. We want to remind everyone that we have some sponsors that make all of this possible. It's USAA, South Padre Island Convention and Tourist Bureau, LiveView, and the Texas Weather Network. Join us again next week.